When people hear the words older woman, society quietly pushes a very narrow picture into their minds. A picture shaped by fear of time, fear of wrinkles, fear of relevance slipping away. And yet something fascinating happens as a woman grows older, something most people are too distracted or insecure to notice. Her attractiveness doesn't disappear. It changes its language. It stops asking for permission. It stops performing. It becomes calm, selective, and quietly powerful. The tragedy is not that older women become less attractive. The tragedy is that the world is too loud, too immature, and too rushed to understand what real attraction looks like when it matures. An attractive older woman doesn't enter a room to be seen, yet somehow she is noticed, not because she tries harder, but because she no longer tries at all. And that is where the signs begin. One of the strongest signs is that she is comfortable with silence. She doesn't rush to fill gaps in conversation. She doesn't panic when there's a pause. She understands that silence is not emptiness. It is confidence without explanation. People who are insecure overshare, overperform, and overtalk. But a woman who has lived, learned, and lost understands that silence can be more seductive than words. When she listens, people feel heard. When she speaks, people pay attention. That ease with silence signals emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is deeply attractive, especially to those who are tired of chaos disguised as passion. Another sign is that she no longer seeks validation, yet validation follows her. She doesn't post for approval, she doesn't dress to compete, she doesn't need constant reassurance that she's enough. And ironically, this is what makes her magnetic. When a woman stops asking, "Am I enough?" the world starts asking, "Who is she?" Her self-worth is no longer outsourced. It's internal, grounded, and steady. People are drawn to those who don't need them to feel whole. That independence of self is not coldness, it's clarity. You'll also notice that she has clear emotional boundaries. She knows what she will tolerate and what she won't, not because she's bitter, but because she's learned. Experience has taught her that access to her energy is a privilege, not a right. She doesn't explain herself endlessly. She doesn't negotiate her dignity. And there is something incredibly attractive about a woman who can say no without guilt and yes without fear. Boundaries create safety, and safety is one of the most underrated elements of attraction. A very attractive older woman has also mastered the art of selective vulnerability. She doesn't trauma dump. She doesn't perform pain for sympathy. But when she chooses to open up, it's real, measured, and meaningful. She knows that vulnerability is powerful only when it's intentional. This balance, being open but not exposed, creates depth. People feel trusted in her presence, and trust is intimacy before touch. Another unmistakable sign is that she takes care of herself, not to chase youth, but to honor her body. She moves with awareness. She rests without apology. She dresses in a way that reflects who she is, not who she's trying to impress. Her beauty doesn't scream for attention. It invites curiosity. There's a difference between trying to look young and looking alive. Attractive older women look alive. Their energy is grounded, not frantic, calm, not desperate, radiant, not rushed. You'll also notice she is emotionally literate. She can name her feelings. She doesn't weaponize them. She doesn't confuse intensity with love or drama with depth. She understands patterns, especially her own. This self-awareness makes her dangerous in the best way. She doesn't repeat cycles unconsciously. She doesn't chase unavailable people. She doesn't romanticize disrespect. Emotional intelligence is quiet power, and quiet power is magnetic. Another sign is that she doesn't compete with younger women. She doesn't need to. Competition comes from scarcity, and she doesn't live there anymore. She understands that beauty is not a limited resource. Her confidence is not threatened by youth because her value is no longer tied to comparison. This lack of rivalry is deeply attractive. It signals security, and security is rare. A very attractive older woman also has presence. When she's with you, she's with you. No constant checking, no distracted half attention. She knows how to be fully present, and in a world addicted to stimulation, presence feels like intimacy. People leave conversations with her feeling calmer, clearer, and more grounded, and they often don't know why. That's influence without force. She also laughs differently. Not to be liked, not to be polite, but because she genuinely finds life ironic, absurd, and beautiful all at once. Her humor isn't performative, it's reflective. It comes from having seen enough of life to understand what actually matters. That kind of laughter stays with people longer than any flirtation. Another sign is that she is not afraid of being alone. Loneliness doesn't scare her into bad decisions. She understands the difference between solitude and abandonment. Because of this, she chooses companionship, not dependency. And being chosen by someone who doesn't need you but wants you is profoundly attractive. Finally, one of the clearest signs is that people often feel both drawn to her and slightly intimidated by her. Not because she's unkind, but because she's clear. Clear about her values, clear about her time, clear about her worth. Clarity can feel threatening to those who live in confusion, but to those who are ready, her clarity feels like relief. An attractive older woman doesn't fade into the background. She simply stops performing for the front row. Her attraction isn't loud, it's layered. It's not built on chasing desire, but on commanding respect. And the truth is, the more a woman knows herself, the less she needs to prove, and the more unforgettable she becomes. She has also reached a stage where she understands the difference between attention and interest. Attention is noisy, cheap, and fleeting. Interest is quiet, intentional, and rare. She doesn't get excited by being pursued by many. She is curious about being understood by one. That discernment changes how people approach her. Those who only want surface-level connection fall away quickly, while those capable of depth feel compelled to slow down around her. And slowing down around someone is one of the most intimate things a person can do. Another subtle sign is how she responds to disrespect. There is no dramatic reaction, no public confrontation, no emotional explosion. She simply withdraws access, calmly, cleanly, without needing closure from the other side. This ability to walk away without needing the last word signals self-respect at a very high level. People sense this and instinctively know that mistreating her will cost them something they won't easily get back. You'll notice that she is not constantly explaining herself. Younger versions of ourselves often over-explain because we're afraid of being misunderstood. An attractive older woman knows that being misunderstood by the wrong people is not a loss. She chooses alignment over approval. This creates an aura of mystery, not the performative kind, but the natural mystery that comes from depth. People realize there's more beneath the surface, and depth always pulls curiosity toward it. She has also made peace with her past, not because it was perfect, but because she has stopped fighting it. Regret no longer defines her choices. Pain no longer narrates her identity. This emotional integration gives her a softness without weakness. She can speak about difficult experiences without collapsing into them. That balance, strength without hardness, is deeply attractive. Another sign is the way she handles desire. She doesn't suppress it, nor does she let it control her. She understands that desire is energy, and energy needs direction. This makes her presence subtly charged, even when she's doing nothing extraordinary. People feel something around her but can't quite label it. It's not flirtation, it's not seduction, it's contained confidence. She also respects time, hers and others. She doesn't rush intimacy. She doesn't fast-forward connection. She allows relationships to unfold naturally, knowing that what is forced often fades, and what is paced tends to last. This patience signals abundance. Only those who feel secure believe they have time. You'll notice she asks better questions than she answers. She's curious without being invasive. She listens for patterns, not just words. This makes people reveal themselves around her, sometimes more than they intended. And when someone can see you clearly without judging you, attraction deepens at a level beyond the physical. She has also learned how to hold joy quietly. Not everything needs to be announced. Not every happiness needs witnesses. This private joy makes her energy lighter, calmer, more grounded. People are drawn to those who carry joy without demanding applause. Another unmistakable sign is that she has stopped trying to be easy to love. She is authentic instead. She understands that being palatable is not the same as being valued. So she shows up as herself, complex, layered, evolving. Those who can meet her there stay. Those who can't quietly remove themselves. She also doesn't confuse chemistry with compatibility anymore. She's experienced enough to know that sparks can burn and disappear, while alignment builds warmth over time. This wisdom changes how she loves, how she chooses, and how she waits. And waiting, when it comes from self-trust, not fear, adds gravity to her presence. You'll see it in the way she moves through rooms. She doesn't scan for reactions. She doesn't adjust her energy to fit everyone else. She occupies space without apology, not loudly, not aggressively, simply fully, and people feel it. Her beauty is no longer something she offers, it's something she contains. And containment creates tension. Tension creates intrigue. Intrigue creates attraction that doesn't fade when the novelty wears off. She understands that not everyone will like her, and she's finally okay with that. This emotional independence frees her from performance, and when performance drops, authenticity rises. Authenticity is always attractive because it's rare. She has learned how to be gentle without being passive, firm without being harsh, open without being exposed. These balances don't come from theory. They come from living, losing, rebuilding, and choosing again, this time with intention. People often sense that she would be perfectly fine without them, and instead of pushing them away, that realization pulls them closer, because the most powerful form of attraction is not being needed, it's being chosen. And this is where many misunderstand attractive older women. They assume attractiveness fades with age because they only understand attraction that begs for attention. But attraction that comes from wholeness doesn't beg. It waits. She has also stopped romanticizing potential. She no longer falls in love with who someone could be. She observes who they consistently are. This shift alone changes everything. It protects her heart without closing it. It allows her to stay open, but not naive. People feel this immediately. There's no room to perform, pretend, or promise futures they can't sustain. Around her, masks fall off, and that honesty, even when uncomfortable, creates a strange pull. Because being seen clearly is rare, and rare things are valuable. Another sign is how she handles compliments. She doesn't deflect them with insecurity, nor does she cling to them for validation. She receives them calmly, with a soft smile, as if they confirm something she already knows. That grounded response tells the world she is not discovering her worth through others. She is allowing others to notice it. She also doesn't confuse busyness with purpose. She moves intentionally. She knows when to act and when to pause. This rhythm, this sense of inner timing, makes her presence soothing. People who are constantly anxious feel calmer around her, even if they don't understand why. Her nervous system has learned regulation, and regulated energy is deeply attractive. You'll notice she doesn't chase excitement. She cultivates meaning. Loud experiences no longer impress her. Depth does. Substance does. Consistency does. This recalibration of desire changes her entire aura. She is no longer dazzled by intensity. She is drawn to stability that doesn't suffocate and passion that doesn't burn out. That discernment makes her hard to impress, but unforgettable once impressed. Another subtle sign is how she treats people who can do nothing for her, with respect, with warmth, without performance. True attractiveness is revealed in moments where there is nothing to gain, and she knows this. Her kindness is not transactional, it's integrated. That kind of integrity can't be faked, and people sense it immediately. She has also learned to trust her intuition without needing to justify it. If something feels off, she doesn't argue with herself. She listens. This self-trust makes her decisive, and decisiveness, especially when calm, is compelling. People feel safer around someone who knows themselves this well. She is also comfortable being desired without making desire her identity. Attraction may surround her, but it doesn't define her. This creates a paradox. The less she centers desire, the more potent it becomes. Because desire that isn't exploited feels authentic. You'll notice she doesn't overshare her plans. She lets outcomes speak. She understands that privacy is power, not secrecy, but discernment. This quiet confidence often makes people lean in closer, curious, attentive, wanting to understand her world. Another sign is that she no longer needs to win arguments. She chooses peace over proving points, not because she lacks intelligence, but because she understands where her energy is best spent. This emotional economy, knowing what deserves her response and what doesn't, adds to her gravity. She has also learned how to sit with discomfort without panicking. Uncertainty doesn't destabilize her. She understands that clarity often comes after patience. This tolerance for the unknown makes her resilient, and resilience is attractive because it signals safety in chaos. Her style reflects this too, not trend chasing, not outdated, simply aligned. Everything she chooses, words, clothes, friendships, feels intentional. Alignment creates coherence, and coherence feels beautiful. People often describe her as different without being able to explain how. That's because her attractiveness isn't located in any single feature or behavior. It's the result of integration. Mind, body, emotion, and experience moving in the same direction. She doesn't fear change, but she doesn't chase it either. She adapts without losing herself. That flexibility without self-erasure is rare, and rarity always attracts attention, whether it seeks it or not. She has also learned that love does not require self-abandonment, so when she connects, she stays whole. This wholeness changes the dynamic completely. Relationships with her feel mutual, not consuming, supportive, not draining. And perhaps the most overlooked sign is this: she allows herself to be seen, but only by those who have earned that access. Visibility without availability, warmth without overexposure. This balance creates a quiet tension that lingers long after she's gone. People don't just remember her face, they remember how they felt in her presence, calmer, clearer, more grounded, more honest with themselves. And feelings like that don't fade quickly, because attraction at this stage is no longer about being looked at. It's about being felt, and this is the truth most people are not ready to hear. An attractive older woman is not trying to reclaim youth. She has outgrown the need for it. Her power doesn't come from being chosen first. It comes from knowing she can walk away last. She doesn't fear time because time worked for her. Every loss refined her. Every boundary protected her. Every season sharpened her clarity. She is not visible because she demands attention. She is unforgettable because she carries presence. In a world addicted to noise, her calm feels like gravity. In a culture obsessed with appearance, her depth feels like relief. And in relationships built on performance, her authenticity feels like truth. She is not intimidating, she is self-contained, not distant, just selective, not fading, finally focused. And those who can recognize her value don't rush her. They slow down because they understand something rare. A woman like this is not found at the beginning of the journey. She is discovered only after you've learned what doesn't last. And once you recognize her, you realize she was never aging out of attraction. She was aging into authority.